Well, the last 3 nights we've reported on the availability of pot in Colorado and businesses turning a profit from the tourism it brings. Colorado is giving Washington a look at what the future recreational sales will be like here when they start. But what are police seeing with the new law? KXLY4's Ian Cull traveled to Denver to find out. He joins us now in the newsroom with part 4 of his special report, Legal Weed. Ian?
And Nadine, one of the biggest questions we've had from people, how will this be enforced? Will there be stone drivers everywhere? In both Washington and Colorado, no stone driving allowed. We both have the same legal limits. And I spoke with a traffic lieutenant in the Denver Police Department on what Washington can expect.
Marijuana is a hot item in Colorado. Shortages at some shops, plenty of supply at others. But where do all these people go after they buy? What if liquor was selling this fast at every liquor store across the state? No doubt at least some of them are getting behind the wheel of a car. Lieutenant Mark Dragem works in the Denver Police Department traffic unit. Over 3 decades, he's arrested thousands of people for DUI, and he knows all the signs.
The dilation of your pupils going from dark to light and light to dark. They do blood pressure tests. They do a lot of different things to detect what type of drug they think it may be.
A DUI is simply a DUI to most law enforcement, whether it's drugs or alcohol that make you impaired. But proving someone is drunk is easier to prove.
If we suspect that it's alcohol, pretty much we're done there. We have the probable cause to make that arrest for alcohol. If we suspect that it may be drugs, we have to do further testing, which can take up to about 2 hours to complete.
The Denver Police Department added several more officers 3 years ago when medical marijuana became legal in Colorado.
We ramped up our efforts to combat what we thought was going to be an increase in stone driving, so to speak, and that actually never came to fruition like we thought it would be.
But surely with 40+ shops around the state and people coming to Colorado specifically to smoke marijuana, stone drivers would take over the roads, right? Once again, not the case.
We were anticipating a huge increase that we didn't get, and so we still have that staffing on board, ready for the commercial sales.
Like troopers here in Washington, Colorado State Patrol says nothing's really changed for them. They're all trained to detect impaired drivers, whether it's alcohol, marijuana, or something else. At least for now in Denver, drugged driving doesn't appear to be a major problem.
People that we arrest who we think have been driving while impaired, about 3% of them have only drugs on board. Whether that be THC, whether that be a depressant, whether that be, pills.
And today, the Washington State Patrol sent me the latest numbers that they have of stone driving cases in our state. And they show a slight increase since I-502 passed. In 2009, 2010, 2011, about 20% of all blood tests taken by the WSP tested positive for marijuana. In 2012, it was 19%. But last year, the first full year of weed being legal in Washington, that number jumped to nearly 25%. Now, many agencies only track whether or not a DUI was alcohol or drugs. Now, Colorado and Washington going to be tracking marijuana DUIs to see if they need to determine of having more targeted law enforcement in certain areas at certain times and in certain cities.
What do people in Denver, since you spent some time there, saying now that the law has passed and people are smoking? Are they complaining about the smell for people who don't like it? I mean, how is this all working out?
Some people see it, they saw quite an influx of it back when they had legalized medical marijuana, but that's actually what we're going to be talking about in part 5 of our series tomorrow night on KXLY4 News at 6. We'll answer some of those questions, and once again, it could give all of us a good idea of what we can expect when recreational sales start here. We also uploaded a photo gallery on KXLY.com that will give you a behind-the-scenes look at how we've made some of these stories and some pictures of some of those people along the way.